Hello there. It seems your travels have brought you to me, a wayfarer of the void. I'm gonna cut right to the chase. Tell me if this sounds like you. Everything sucks, every day is so hard, everyone is out to get me, I have horrible luck. Or if that's not you, maybe even just, why do I feel so down all the time? Or why do I have no energy? If that's you, you're probably right. Life is hard. It can be exhausting just to keep up with everything. Fortunately for you, I have the solution. Well, a solution. To start, I want to ask you a question. How many times do you complain a day? I'd like you to actually think about this. Here, I'll give you a second. Okay, that's enough. I don't have all night. So, okay, yeah, complaining is bad. No duh. Makes sense. But what does complaining even do for you? Well, by complaining, you're fixating on whatever's getting you down, which is focusing negativity on what happened. That's using up energy and putting more emotional investment into that, which, if you're complaining about it, probably not something you want to be doing. And in return, you get to vent and cope with the situation better, which can be helpful at times. But when I put it like that, the trade-off doesn't exactly help. More than that, studies have shown that complaining actually increases your stress levels the more you do it. And the more you do it, the more it actually wires your brain for negativity. How does this happen? Well, I won't get too deep into the science to keep this easy to understand. But the short answer is that you have this energy, and instead of using it to solve the problem, you're using it to make the problem bigger instead. Let me be clear, this is not saying you're exaggerating anything. Think of it this way. Let's say you spill milk on the floor. Then, instead of cleaning up the milk, you tire yourself out and give yourself every excuse not to clean up the spilled milk, and then you don't clean it up. That's what complaining is. With that illustration, hopefully it makes more sense just why complaining is bad. Complaining, and by extension, hatred in general, saps all your energy and puts you in a worse mood. That energy sucking can even reflect on other people. It's why people don't like being around other negative people. If you've ever heard of energy vampires, this is where that comes from. And complaining and hating is so much work. You gotta put all this trouble and energy and emotional investment into something that's making your life worse, and you get nothing out of it. So, you have an opportunity to be lazy here. Try this. Don't let yourself complain for a whole day. That's all you gotta do. Just watch yourself and catch yourself before you start complaining and see what happens. Oh, were you expecting more to this video? But hold on, wait a minute. You can't just not complain. Life is hard. There's stupid problems and unfair obstacles literally everywhere. Or can we? Well, what does not complaining do for you? The act of not complaining alone may not change your circumstances, but it will change your life. That thing people always talk about called perspective is what changes here. You go from focusing on all the negatives to all the positives. And if you remove literally all of the negativity you generate from your life, what do you have left? Pure contentment. It really works. Not enough to convince you? Well, there's also the fact that energy you used to waste on complaining can now be put towards other things. More important things. That's something we'll go over in a bit, but for now, let's consider that if there's anything you've ever wanted to start doing, but couldn't because you have no energy. This could be hobbies during the week, it could be cooking more for yourself, hell, it can even be doing absolutely anything after a long and draining day at work. If you're lacking in energy for any reason, this is one of many changes you can make to just get more energy for free. Those are all well and good, but now we get to the big one. The problems that used to hold you back no longer do. That life that you desperately wanted to change, but just couldn't, actually starts to change. And it's not coming from years and years of hard work and self-improvement and this and that. All you have to do is just not crash out. Every time you abstain from complaining, you build patience. And the more patience you build, the more you stand up to. The more you stand up to, the better your life will get. With some effort, I assure you that it'll be night and day in your everyday life. Now that we agree that not complaining is the way to go, we run into a bit of a problem. You've got to do something when you're not complaining. Something to put that extra time and energy into. Well, when you're not complaining, what should you do instead? The first thing I would try is the exact opposite. Staying positive and giving gratitude. There are many ways of doing this, but here are my favorites, and ones that, in my experience, are the most effective. Gratitude journaling, just writing down a couple things you're grateful for a day, works wonders if you stick with it. I also like putting things into perspective. Whenever something bad happens to me, I think of the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and remember how I felt back then. Compared to that, most things aren't even close to being as bad. You can also... Okay, what I'm about to say might be controversial, but here goes. You can also work to fix your own problems?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I know, I should be crucified for even suggesting that. But that energy I mentioned before, the energy you're wasting by complaining, instead of complaining, you should just solve whatever problem you're complaining about. Now, that's something way easier said than done. But think of it this way. You're working yourself up, getting angry and frustrated as a response to this problem. It's a free source of energy literally meant for getting rid of the issue. It's your body and mind telling you that you need to fix it. And by doing so, you won't complain about it ever again. It may be the most difficult, but it is the most direct way to solve the problem. It might sound all high and mighty of me to just tell you straight, just solve all your problems and everything will get better. But let me tell you this. Things are gonna suck either way. You're gonna have stuff to complain about either way. But the pain of moving past your problems is always less than the pain of keeping them. Always. What that looks like for you is going to vary from case to case, so I won't say anything more on the matter. All I will say is that all that stuff about your problems not holding you back and your life getting better, that will happen. But like all things, it just takes some dedication. And hey, if you still don't think it's true, all you gotta do is just try it out for one day. If you do that and it doesn't work for you, well, you can do whatever you want. Were you expecting encouragement? I think that's valid, but this stuff is hard. It's hard work that's actually worth it and that means something. You just have to not give up at it. And I think that being real like that is the best encouragement I can possibly give. And besides, I'm just a guy inside your screen. What am I going to do to encourage you? Give you more advice to make your life even better? If you didn't catch it, that's a shameless plug to subscribe for more. Okay, that's all the build-up and convincing out of the way. How do you actually do it? How do you complain less and be positive more? Well, and I hate to be controversial again, but it's worth saying that working towards actually solving your problems will just achieve this as a nice bonus. Well, what else is there? The trick here is to start small. It's why I kept asking you to only stop complaining for a day. What's that old proverb again? Give a man a bad day and he'll complain for a day, but give a man a bad life and he'll complain for the rest of his life? Wait, no, that's not it. Then what did I tell that 10-year-old? Anyway, asking people to just stop complaining at all is a big ask. But to only do it for a day is much more doable. See how far you can go in a day, and then just keep that up as much as you can. If you aren't perfect, that's totally fine. I mean, you never will be. The key is to just practice not complaining as much as you can. And the more you do it, the more as much as you can becomes. While holding back your downright nuclear rage, you can practice such things as counting to 10, or to any number, really. You can also take deep breaths. You can also, like in meditation, repeatedly say a mantra until you calm down. These are called grounding techniques, and while they're mainly used in other ways psychologically, they can also help regulate your emotions and keep your composure in general. I also find that walking away from the situation, if possible, really helps. Believe me, you're going to look a lot more stupid if you crash out than if you just keep your dignity and make some space. If that isn't possible, then in the event you're dealing with another person in your complaints, you can just nicely communicate how you feel. This works kind of like venting, where it helps you out, but it also helps get the issue off your chest, and that can actually take steps towards resolving the conflict with the other person. This is what they call maturity, which I find somehow escapes some adults out there. If you're daring enough, assuming the complaint is about you or another person, you can also try to prove the negative thoughts wrong then and there. With enough of this kind of talk, it slowly changes your subconscious to stop having the thoughts themselves. You do want to be careful with this though. Even though this is effective, if you do it wrong, it will make things worse, so just keep that in mind. Building on this, you want to try to occupy those thoughts with thinking positively. That's the goal. Not complaining will do you a lot, but actively thinking positively will do even more. Again, you want to start small here. Try to find one good thing to say instead of complaining. Just one. That's it. Then you build that up. Try to find one good thing in every day in general, and then you build that up, and you can kind of progressively keep going. Now we know what to do, so all we need is a roadmap for applying all of this. When should and shouldn't you complain? In my opinion, complaining is totally fine on things you can't immediately change. Let me be clear, not things you can't control, just things you can't change. You can also complain when it's being empathetic towards other people. Maybe it's sympathizing with a bad day they had, maybe it's agreeing about something genuinely awful. You get the idea. In this context, complaining may not be helpful for you, but it makes the other person feel seen and heard, and that's always something you want to happen. Finally, I also think it's fine to complain when you're already working towards solving the problem, and you just need to channel the negativity you'll get from extra bad days that you'll inevitably have. Don't tell yourself you're solving the issue just as an excuse to complain, though. You gotta be actually putting in the work for this. This means, for all other situations, you should really not try to complain using the information we've discussed today. If you've made it this far in the video, it means you already have the patience to make this happen. You can do this. I believe in you. Go stop complaining, and watch your life have nothing to complain about. I thank you for spending time with me in the dark, so that you may emerge from it a stronger being. I hope to see that light of yours shine brighter the next time we meet. Until then.